they said, oh, but Ego, even if Terence Crawford signed a PBC, that doesn't guarantee him the Errol Spence fight. We about to talk about that in this video. Stay tuned.
Excellent. I'll ask you one more question. It's about Terence Crawford, switching gears one more time. I heard you mention that the problem with Top Rank was that they were unable to get him fights, and you don't think you can get him fights either. What is it about Terence Crawford that makes him so hard to...
It's because there's so limited amount of fights for him, like in terms of for the money he wants. A certain promoter to get those fights, I think that's a problem in boxing in general. But I think unless he signs with the PBC, I don't actually think that he will get those fights, and maybe that's the route that he has to take.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. That was Eddie Hearn weighing in on Terence Crawford. He basically said, I just gave you snippets. Terence Crawford, phenomenal talent, but maybe the route he needs to go is PBC, which is ironically what I've been telling you. I also put out this tweet. Make sure you guys follow me at BOXINGEGO on Twitter. And it's very simple stuff. We're gonna read it and get through the content. Some comments say, this is the comments that I've been seeing and reading and whatnot. Some comments say, but Ego, if Terence Crawford signs to Premier Boxing Champs PBC, there's no guarantee that he'll get an Errol Spence fight. And what I said in this tweet, no ish, but in life, nothing is guaranteed but death, and they say taxes. So the only thing guaranteed in life is death and taxes. But if you want Chinese food, you got a better chance of getting it at a Chinese food spot in Chinatown rather than a pizzeria. #ego. Now, hopefully you guys get the analogy. If you want Chinese food, I don't know. Maybe I'm reinventing the wheel here, but going to Chinatown and going to one of the restaurants there, you probably got a better chance of getting it as opposed to going to some type of Italian eatery, a pizzeria, a steakhouse, etc. There's really no guarantee there. So what I'm saying is simple. Terence Crawford, he can do whatever he wants. But as I've maintained, this seems like such a no-brainer, and it's so difficult for Terence Crawford fans and maybe even his team to grasp this concept. And that's why I had to make this video. Some of you guys are telling me, oh, there's no guarantee that he'll get Errol Spence or any of the top fight, Keith Thurman or whoever. But I mean, if we're really being honest, there was no guarantee with Top Rank either. So if he goes to Top Rank, which he did for a decade plus, there was no guarantee that he got the fight that he was looking for over there. So what is the real difference? That's my question to you. What are we really talking about here, right? If he goes and signs with Eddie Hearn or Daniel Kinahan and Probellum and Schaefer, whatever, then where's his guarantee there? How are they going to guarantee them something just like I've been saying, and now Eddie Hearn and others are saying it as I played from that snippet? How are they going to guarantee fighters or access to fighters that they simply don't have? Eddie Hearn has Conor Benn, and that's about it. Golden Boy has Virgil Ortiz, and that's about it, right? So, I mean, people are making, and it's so funny in boxing that people try to, they try to put 2 on 10, and make things much more complex than they have to be. Crawford, everything that he's saying he wants is predominantly with PBC. Because even if he were to fight Conor Benn or Virgil Ortiz, which I don't see those fights as being likely, because I don't think their promoters want to match their prospect with Terence Crawford at this current juncture. So even if he could get him, those fights mean very little because Crawford's already decorated and he's already storied. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already like supposed to be, he's 33, 34, whatever. He's already supposed to be an elite echelon. So fighting up and comers, yeah, they could be good fights, could be dangerous fights. But at the same time, it's not going to mean the same as if you're fighting Errol Spence or Keith Thurman, people who are, decorated at the welterweight division already. Keith Thurman has been involved in the big fights. Errol Spence, he's again in another big fight. And again, people keep using this. I like to use and listen to what people say so I could use it against them, like the Miranda rights. Why do you think people on the movies or TV shows like Law and Order, the person who's being charged or being questioned, we'll say, for murder, sometimes they just shut the F up because they know the more they talk, the more they're going to incriminate themselves. Unfortunately, people in boxing, they didn't get that memo. So people keep coming up with these rationale. Oh, there's no guarantee, as I said in my tweet, no guarantee that Terence Crawford will get the big fights. Well, guess what? Making bad decisions, there's really no guarantee that you're going to get the big fights you're looking for by making the wrong choices either. And one thing I can say is men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And at the end of the day, you see on the screen, Errol Spence Jr. is fighting your Dennis Ugas. So Ugas, who was basically forgotten about when he was with Top Rank and he was discarded when he started losing, he has rebounded and rebuilt his whole career. And I thought he beat Sean Porter, like I've always maintained. And then he recently, on paper and in the physical, according to the judges' scorecards as well, he retired Pacquiao. And now he's about to fight Errol Spence. So at some point, people have to exercise common sense. There is no guarantee. Like I said, death and taxes, that's the only guarantees. There's no other guarantees in life like that. So at the end of the day, people on PBC in the welterweight category, they're not complaining. They're not saying, oh, hey, man, I can't get this fight. Spence is involved in another big fight, AT&T Stadium, his backyard, a big venue, So it's like, what are we talking about? Ugas, again, when he was with Top Rank, he wasn't getting Sean Porter and Manny Pacquiao fights and fighting on Pacquiao, Keith Thurman undercard like he did. So the proof is in the pudding. You guys can say a bunch of what ifs and there's no guarantees. Yeah, but there's no guarantees in life. At the end of the day, if you follow certain protocols, like for me, let's say when it comes to success, everything I do, me doing YouTube, there was no guarantee that. There's no guarantee that I was going to be successful on YouTube. I didn't know everything about the platform. I didn't have the best equipment, whatever, right? But at the end of the day, I know what I bring to the table, and I try to put myself on an enlightened path and try to put myself in a position to win. So I do take risks all the time. You guys see me switching out stuff, doing new stuff, boom. But at the end of the day, you have to take calculated risks, right? Calculated risks and make sure that at the end of the day, you're in a position to win. And that's what I try to do. So yeah, there's no guarantee that you're going to succeed in anything that you do, but you could put yourself on a path and a trajectory with diligence and hard work and smart decision making, where you're exponentially increasing your opportunities and chances for succeeding, right? That's the reality of it. And Errol Spence has done that. He said his dad pushed him to sign with Al Heyman, and he doesn't look like he's having regretted it. There's Terence Crawford right there, and Errol Spence and Bob Arum. And funny enough, this picture says 1,000 words. This man, Bob Arum, is now being sued by Terence Crawford. I told Terence Crawford I'm not making any money. So now he wants to sue, and this was just a couple years ago, February 23rd, 2020, right? Errol Spence, they were all, I forgot what fight this was, but they're all in fights. And then Terence Crawford is one row behind Bob Arum. Fast forward to the future. Now he's suing. His former promoter, saying, you didn't do this for me, you didn't do that for me. We'll have to see the outcome of that. But again, like I said in my initial tweet, if you want Chinese food, going to Chinatown, it's probably not a bad spot. That's not a bad spot to be in. Like if you really want anything in this world, it's attainable. You really want, look at Black Mamba, look at Kobe. You know, he won a ring. He made sure he got that. He made sure he stayed in the gym long enough to achieve those things. So I just feel like Terence Crawford continues to be in between a rock and a hard spot because his own pride, stubbornness, whatever. And you can say whatever you want, but again, there's no guarantees in life, but you increase your chances of success if you make smart decisions that are, for the most part, sure shot, even though I just said there's nothing that's guaranteed. You want Chinese food, Chinatown's a great place to start. You wouldn't go to Burger King looking for Chinese food. You wouldn't go into Fat Burger looking for Chinese food. You know, I mean, you could, but it just doesn't really make sense. So I don't understand this whole Terence Crawford, oh, there's no guarantee. Okay, so what's the guarantee if he signs with Eddie Hearn? What's the guarantee if he signs with Daniel Kinahan? What's the guarantee if he goes back to Bob Arum? There's no guarantee in those situations. But one thing's for sure is PBC welterweights, the top level guys are not having a problem getting opportunities, period. And Errol Spence just dropped a bombshell that he's officially fighting Ugas, and the rest is history. Boom, checkmate. Enema. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.